So welcome to video number 2. Okay, so now it's time to get to know yourself. So like I mentioned yesterday on video 1, it's so often that we live our life for other people. We work for someone else, we work for their values, and then we get to midlife and we think, is this it? Like, have I spent all my life working for someone else who I don't really believe in what they're doing? Guys, the world is waking up and you are awakening up, and that's why you're watching these videos, because you know that you are ready to level up. You're ready to know who you are, to be passionate about what you stand for and really make an impact, which makes me so happy. And you know my story about being a model for 20 odd years, and I really didn't know myself. I didn't know who was Kim Mellor, what do I believe in? And so I would just buy into other people's beliefs, and I would just be a people pleaser, and I get pulled from pillar to post, and I was like, I had this kind of internal argument going on, like, oh God, I don't agree with that. And like subconsciously, my intuition was telling me, I don't believe in that. But my head was saying, who do you think you are? You haven't got your own opinion. Like, you've not got a PhD in blah, blah, blah. And so the day that I started to really tune into my intuition, and the day I started to really value myself, was the day that I really started to transition and transform my life. Because do you know what? Doesn't matter what I say, it's what you believe. So also take everything I'm saying with a pinch of salt. Is what I'm saying true for you? How does it fit? And this is the thing. It's not about always like taking every single thing that you hear and thinking, I need to do that, I need to be that, I need to implement that. It's about thinking, okay, does that fit in with me and my values and what I want and where I'm going? And if that makes you cringe a little bit to say, actually, I don't believe that. Oh, actually, I feel that I would perform better this way. That's what I want you to be. That's how I want you to feel. I want you to feel like your opinion matters. Like, I'm sure we've all been at school and we've put our hand up in the air and we've got the answer wrong. I'm pretty sure we've all been laughed at for something that we've said. And you know what? That emotion and that circumstance can dictate your life and the way that you think. And so these video series is less about you becoming anything and more about unbecoming everything that you thought was really you and just showing up as your authentic self. And so it's getting rid of all the egos and all the attachments to what you think you should look like how you think you should wear your makeup, how you think you should have your hair, like how you think you should think and what you think you should say in a certain situation. It's time to embrace yourself, like be celebrated for you. We're all unique, we're all different. And there's never been a time such as this where we've been in a world where it's so acceptable to be gay, to have gay marriages, to have a family. I've got many friends who are lesbians, who've got babies and families, and that now is the norm. Like, we're awakening up to this new level of consciousness that we're all connected. On a soul level, we're all connected, because these things are just little skin suits. Doesn't matter if you're in a male skin suit or a female skin suit, like, we're all souls on a soul level. And so it's that soul connection. And so really understanding your connection with yourself is going to really help you to be in alignment and live in alignment, because you know exactly what is true for you and what maybe doesn't feel right. And so let me ask you a question. Have you ever found it really hard to say no? Have you ever found it hard to speak your truth? And if so, what's that little thought that's gone around in your head? And I want you to write it down on paper. What's the thought in your head when I said to you, have you ever had a thought and not wanted to speak your truth? Because it was me. And my thought process was, who cares what I think? I'm just Kim Mellor. I'll probably get it wrong anyway. Like, who am I to have a different opinion to someone that I look up to? you know. And the thing is, we're all here to learn something, and we can learn something from many different people in many different situations, like tall, short, fat, thin, older, younger. It doesn't matter. We can all learn something from everyone, and I'm hoping to learn lots of things from you guys as well. Okay, so I'm now going to ask you a few quick fire questions, so make sure you've got your pen and your paper ready. Just going to grab my laptop because I've got them written down on here. So I'm going to ask you 29 or so questions, and I want you to write down the first thing that comes into your head. Okay. What activity lights me up with joy? What is something you always love doing, even when you're tired or rushed? And why is that? If a relationship or job makes you unhappy, do you choose to stay or leave? What do you fear about leaving a bad job or a bad relationship? What do you believe is possible for you? What have you done in your life that you're most proud of? What is the thing that you're second most proud of? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? How does your being here in the universe change humanity for the better? If I could wave my wand and wish anything for you, what would that be? What is your highest core value? What do you most value? To your best knowledge, how do other people perceive you? How would you like others to perceive you? How confident, on a scale of 1 to 10, are you in your abilities to make decisions for yourself? What is your biggest self-limiting belief? Who is the most important person in your life? Who is your greatest role model? Who is the person that you don't like, but yet you spend time with? What is something that is true for you no matter what? What is your moral compass in making difficult decisions? What is one failure that you have turned into your greatest lesson? What role does gratitude play in your life? How do you feel about your parents? How is your relationship with money? When you're 80 years old and you're looking back on your life, how do you want to feel? What role has formal education played in your life, and how do you feel about it? Do you believe your destiny is predetermined or in your hands to shape however you wish? What do you believe is the meaning of your life? And the last one, what does alignment mean to me? How was that? Getting to know you. Isn't it so funny how we just don't sometimes just get to know ourselves? And guys, this is the power of journaling. Like going in and having those self-actualizations is more powerful than constantly going to so many different events. You know, I see lots of people being so obsessed with personal development. I think it's fantastic. But also that self-development of learning who we are, what's important to us, and our values is really key. So I'm going to say this to you. You already know who you are. You already have everything that you need to be successful. And so if you want to just live that life on your terms and be completely unapologetic, you know, it's really owning that and owning who you are, and knowing that you are of value to the world, and what you say and the things that you have to say really do mean something. You know, most people go through their life not knowing who they are because they've been conditioned to be a robot and go to school and I must get this job and then I must be happy and then retire with nothing to live on. You're telling me that we work really hard to save up, to buy a house we never live in, to buy a car to go and sit in traffic, to work for someone else under their values and philosophies, to come home and to be knackered and feel stressed and just feel anxious about the future and going back to work the next day. Guys, you're worth more than that. You become what you believe, and what you believe you will become. And so it's really key that you start to believe in you and your values and what you've got to offer. So I want you to get really clear on your core values, and this is like your moral compass. So when I started to get clear on my values, it was really easy for me to be able to pivot in situations and say, that's not right for me. I know that doesn't fit. That's not in alignment with who I am and where I'm going. And I'm okay with that because I'm saying yes to me first. So what are you saying yes to? What are you available for? And how you become available more for yourself and your energy is to have those real core values. And values are basically a set of beliefs and qualities that you strive to live by. And so in the mornings, as part of my routine, which you'll learn later on, I get clear on my values. Like, who am I? What do I represent? And if something comes into my life, I can go, that's probably not for me. It's like now, I get a lot of modelling jobs come through still. But for example, if they want me to advertise a new mascara that's full of chemicals and tested on animals, that's not in alignment with me and where I'm going. Or if I even get a modelling job come in and it's like less than like what I value myself for, I'll say, thank you so much for reaching out, but I'm unavailable at that price. Guys, my energy is so important, and your energy is so important. It's the most valuable commodity that you have. So the sooner you start to value your energy, the sooner that you'll have more space in your life to really start to move forward. So what happens when you live by your values is that you stop getting distracted by the other outside things, and then you stop feeling like, oh, why is this happening to me? And oh, they're making me feel a certain way. If your life is run by the outside world, you're never going to be happy. And so running your life and your internal compass via those values is super, super important. And when you align with those values, guess how you feel? Content, happy, satisfied. You've got this internal strength and this empowerment that's like, do you know what? That doesn't fit with me. I'm unavailable for that. And you're like, not in an ego way, but in like, I've said yes to myself first. So when's the last time you actually said yes to yourself? I'd like to challenge you on that one. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to post a list of core values so that you can choose what are your top 10. I want you to pick your top 10 core values and then also pick your top 5, which are an absolute non-negotiable. But I want you to pick 10. And I'd love for you to let me know what those are or post them in the group, and so we can all share and just be accountable. So make sure that you've done that, because this is a part of the process, making sure that you're actioning the videos so that you can then really make a move and implement these things into your life. So have an awesome day, afternoon, evening, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.